Hey y'all, out here at the 24th annual Auto Crusade in Cumming, Georgia, and I got a 1970 Mustang with like a 572 John Kaase motor in it. I think y'all gonna like. Let me get the camera turned around, we'll take a quick look at it. Jeffrey, thanks so much for giving me some time today, brother.
No problem.
Tell me a little bit about this Mustang.
A lot of work went into it.
You can tell.
A lot of detail.
You can tell. What condition was it in when you got it?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't a rust bucket, but it had a lot of rust in it. And,
right. What year is it?
1970.
It's a 70.
It's actually a 351 Cleveland car, Mach 1, but
it's a real Mach 1.
It's a real Mach 1,
right.
But it's not a real boss car. I mean, this
right.
is a boss car that you can drive.
Right.
But TCI front suspension with coilovers all the way around, disc brakes all the way around. It drives great. Rack and pinion steering. It drives awesome. You couldn't do all that to a real Boss 429 car because they're too expensive. I mean,
right? Yeah, you would.
If that was a real Boss, it would be worth $500,000. Right. You know, and to me, to drive, I'd rather have this, but to collect, I'd rather have the original.
Well,
but
the value's in the original. You're right,
exactly.
But the coolness is in this. Not that the real one wasn't
exactly.
cool.
Exactly. I mean, I envy the guys that's got the original ones,
sure.
But. You know, and I would trade with them. You
yeah,
know?
Yeah,
but
that'd be a smart move. Yeah,
just for monetary value. Yeah, but I like this car. I really do like it. I don't drive it a lot because I'm trying to make it last as long as it can and stay nice. And it's hard to keep them nice when you drive them.
Right.
But I've got another car that I drive, a '69 that I drive when I just want to get out and cruise. But I've had that car done for right at 2 years, and it'll probably turn over 200 miles when I go home.
Okay.
I just hardly ever get
How
it
long
out.
You had it done? You did the work yourself?
My little brother, it's a long story. I bought the car 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I sold it, and the guy that I sold it to carried it to my brother's body shop, Johnson's Body Shop in Cumming, and he did extensive work on it, you know, getting it ready to paint. Then the guy that I sold it to,
right.
And then he got in the tight for money and sold it. My little brother wound up with it back, and he worked on it for a couple more years. And then I wanted it back, so we did some trading. I got it back, and then I finished it.
Right.
And it's been it took me 2 years to finish it.
Right.
And a lot of frozen pizzas went into that car.
Yeah, no, I bet. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell that the love was there, the passion was there, and putting it together. You got your stance right. It's a good-looking car.
And the number one thing to me, I've had a lot of people try to buy it. I've been offered some big numbers for it.
Sure.
And I don't think I could ever build another one. You know, it really took a lot out of me to do that.
Yeah.
And
well, they all sound like fun when you start.
Yeah.
2 years later, not so much.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it I did 2 or 3 times before I was satisfied with the look.
Right.
And there's some things I wish I'd have done different, like painting the bottom of it.
Right.
I had it primed and
right.
red oxide primer like it's supposed to be, and it just didn't look right with that color. So I sanded all that down and painted it all body color, and it looks real good.
Right.
That's one reason I can't drive it, because
right.
You know, every time you drive it, you got to get under there and clean it up.
Right, right. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I heard you missed our track day yesterday just because it was I couldn't stand having to clean the thing up.
Yep. I don't want to have to rock chips. I'm trying to eliminate that all I can.
That's it.
You know, I don't do stupid stuff with it, but
you're not afraid to drive it. You're just trying to maintain and keep it as nice for as long as you can.
Yeah,
I understand.
Because I don't want to redo it.
No, I don't blame you. You did that once. You had enough money and time in it the first time.
Yeah,
you didn't want to do it again.
It took a lot out of me. Like I say, I don't want to start another project like that.
Looks pretty much stock in here.
Oh, the interior is almost original. I mean, it's just stock replacement stuff. I had an upholstery shop cover the seats with stock. I bought the stock seat covers, and I just had a guy put new foam, the stock covers on it. It's a stock dash pad, headliners of stock replacement. I wanted it all to look original.
Right.
It's actually got an original Boss shifter handle and T-handle with a set screw in it.
Right.
I wanted it to all look like it's supposed to.
Well, you know, the Mustangs were cool from the factory, right? So you don't have to do a lot of changes to it.
They look like they're running 100 mile an hour sitting still.
Right. You just make them run good, drive good, and handle good, and that's all you really need to do.
That's right.
Brother, you got a nice car. That is just a really, really nice car.
I appreciate it.
It's got the look, as they say. And then when you start it, it's also got the sound.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do.
What do you got going on up underneath here?
Started with a Ford Motorsport SVO block. Bought a new one because they're Siamese. You can bore them big.
Okay.
And Johnny Thomas, Thomas engines here in Cumming. He bored it. It's 4.5 inch bore, 4.5 inch stroke, makes 572 cubic inches.
I see you got Concept 1 pulley systems on here.
Oh yeah, yeah. You talk about it, perfect fit. No shims, no grinding, just bolt it on and go. It was no misalignments. Couldn't ask for it to be no better. Everyone I've ever bought from has been that way. And I was worried about this one because it's so unique, so odd, but first try, went right on, no problems. All the parts John Kaase developed. He redeveloped those heads to use on a standard 460 block. So got all the parts from Kaase. Johnny Thomas assembled it, and then we carried it back to Kaase's shop in Winder to dyno it. It made like 802.7 horsepower on a rain. It was raining. It was a rainy day. It was a bad, worst day in the world to dyno, but it made 802.7 on the horsepower, made 754 on the torque at 4,200.
Holy cow!
I mean, it's a beast.
And it's still a good car to drive.
Oh yeah, you just gotta. You got to
keep your foot in it.
Yeah. You don't pull it in high gear until you get some speed up, because it'll start, jerking. But it's still a good drivable car. Started out with a close ratio Cobra-Jet transmission, 232 first gear, and started out with a 370 gear in the back. It wouldn't hardly start off without smoking the clutch. So I put a 411 gear in it, and it was really a beast. I mean, I broke it loose at 80 miles an hour.
Holy cow! And
but you couldn't drive it. I mean, it was still, with that high first gear, you couldn't get started without riding the clutch a lot. So I put a wide ratio kit in the transmission, changed it to a 278 first gear, and I put a 360 gear in the back. Now, it cost me a little bit of speed as far as drag racing, but it's so drivable. It's almost 10-to-1 in first gear, and I can cruise around, and it don't start jerking your head off and stuff.
You can actually idle through a parking lot.
You can idle through a parking lot without having to push the clutch in 100 times.
Keep revving it up.
But it was faster before, but it's better now. It's plenty fast enough like it is.
Well, and if you were going to run it a quarter mile at a time, then speed would be all you were looking for. But really, you just want performance and a good driver.
That's right.
And you nailed that.
That's right. I mean, suspension. I built all the 4-link suspension myself. It took me 2 weeks to box the frame and fabricate all the brackets. But the kits that you buy, I'm not fond of, because they call them a bolt-in kit, but you're bolting it to sheet metal, and with that much power, it'll just jerk it out from under the car. Didn't want to tear it up and destroy the car, so we boxed the rear frame, got hidden frame connectors from front torque box to rear torque box. It's all hidden, you can't see it. Did a lot of work, extensive work, to make it look original looking, but still be a muscle car.
Had to get it strong, strengthen it. Hit all that extra that you
put
did.
3 inches in the tub, put 3-inch mini tubs in it. I went just as far as I could go without cutting the back seat. The wheel tubs go all the way against the seat, and that's where I stopped. And it all worked out good.
Just to keep that stock look?
Yep, I wanted it to look, as stock as possible. I mean, I got the replica, they're aluminum wheels, but they kind of favor the Magnum 500s. Quite a bit bigger than stock. But
what size wheels are you running?
It's a 15 by 10.5 on the rear and a 15 by 8.5 on the front.
So there you go, from the 24th annual Auto Crusade, a 1970 Mustang with a 572 John Kaase motor. And you always got to love when it's got those parts in it, because it's going to sound good. You know it's going to sound good, going to pound the ground. But very cool car. Hope you all enjoyed it. See ya! Hey y'all, don't forget to visit ScottieDTV.com for more cool content and an easy way to search the hundreds of videos I have posted. Either click the link in the description or the logo at the end of this video.